Welcome to Daily 5 for Tuesday, May 21st, 2024. If you listen to the Friday shows, and I say that because I know there are a lot of people who only listen to the short 5 shows and may not listen to the Friday shows, but Lando and I, 2 or 3 shows back, fell into a bit of a rabbit hole on the 13th Warrior, a John McTiernan film, and we have been continuing to go around and dig new paths off that rabbit hole, off the actual show, and so that led me to listen to the really great series of shows that the Blank Check podcast did on John McTiernan called Pod Hard with a Vengecast. I haven't finished them all, but I've listened to most of the big name ones: Predator, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Hunt for Red October. And I think in the Die Hard episode, they were talking about John McTiernan's first film, which is from 1986 and is titled Nomads. And I don't remember ever even looking at this film twice. I don't know why, maybe because it doesn't have a great reputation, but they were talking about the movie and they made some comparisons to Near Dark, which of course Dr. Doug Bielmeyer and I just talked about. And so I thought, this sounds interesting, even if it's not necessarily, he went from that to Predator. And I will say, having watched Nomads, it is astonishing what a difference in quality Predator is to Nomads. But I really enjoyed Nomads. It's definitely a step down from Predator. It's clear that there wasn't the budget, nor necessarily the storytelling. This is the only McTiernan writing credit in his whole career. He never wrote a film again. And this is probably wise. He probably figured out that he's not really the best writer. But honestly, the comparisons to Near Dark are definitely there in terms of the atmosphere. The soundtrack especially reminded me of Near Dark, not because the music was the same, but the way that it was used. But the movie I kept thinking of was the Michael Mann film The Keep, which is a notorious movie that was compromised, that was cut way down. Mann has essentially disowned it. You can't find any really good copies of it anywhere, and even the ones you do, when you watch the movie, even though there's things about it that are just amazing, you do get to the end of it and realize, okay, this movie was never really completed the way that it should have been. And Nomads has that feeling. Now, I haven't read anything that indicates there was any of that same behind-the-scenes meddling, but when you get to the end of Nomads, what you get the sense of is, okay, it's too bad somebody else didn't come in and polish up this script and help finish it. It's too bad there's not maybe 10 minutes more of this movie that explain a few things or that set up things and pay off things slightly better. But having said that, and I'm saying all this because I don't want to oversell this as some kind of hidden gem. I don't know that that would really be fair, but I enjoyed this movie quite a bit, more than I expected to, based on the kind of general consensus around it and what the Blank Check hosts were talking about, which is nothing to say about them. You like whatever movies you like, but I came into this and I was expecting much more of a train wreck than it was. Now, I'm not going to tell you that it's flawless storytelling. It is not. It does have problems. I think a lot of people will struggle with certain elements of it, particularly how the leads kind of shift back and forth. It's very sudden and abrupt, and it doesn't really guide the viewer properly. I'll talk more about this on Friday. It's impossible to fit this into 5 minutes. So there's going to be some whiplash to that for a lot of people. I had no issue with the ending. The Blank Check hosts, they did not enjoy the ending. I thought the ending was great. I didn't mind the vague elements of the movie because there are certain things that are never really explained. There are certain things that you don't really have a clear picture of. I don't think that was bad, but it is definitely an element of the film, and whether that was intentional or not, some people may struggle with it. But I think as far as, again, it's kind of like The Keep. The Keep doesn't explain a lot of things. The Keep really cruises a lot of the time on its style and the fact that it just feels like it's this interesting, unique vision of something. And Nomads, a lot of the time, succeeds in that same way. It's not as good as The Keep or Near Dark, let's just be very clear about that. But I think it's better than its reputation would suggest. Not a great movie. Probably it is amazing that Predator came after this. I mean, that will blow your mind. If you're a fan of Predator, which I think most people who like action films are, watch this and then think about the fact that Predator was the next film. That is amazing because it is such a massive step up. But you can see that there was the direction, the eye that McTiernan has, and the way that he moves the camera and frames things and puts people into the all that stuff you can see the beginnings of. But it is a quantum leap to go from this movie to Predator. It is really quite astonishing that was the next film. But I would say watch this. I think it is a perfectly fun, maybe a one-time watch for most people, but not a terrible movie, I wouldn't say. So again, 1986 Nomads, easy to watch everywhere, and I would say, yeah, give it a shot. It's a lot of fun. Later.